All
right, let's start with the MVP race because that's the biggest award of the NFL, and currently it's in hot pursuit by some electric players. So, the first thing I'd like to point out is that Dak Prescott doesn't deserve to be in the running.
No.
Because he's ass. He's not good.
And the schedule, and if you lose to the Jets...
If you lose to the Jets, automatically you can't win MVP. That's the rule.
I understand if it was Giants and Redskins, because divisional games...
Divisional games are always rough. You know, the 49ers are a damn good team, and they almost got beat by the Cardinals twice.
That is correct.
Divisional games are a toss-up. You know, the Jets beat the Patriots a couple times, and no one knows how. So I get it there, but the Jets beating the Cowboys shouldn't be a thing, especially Sam Darnold being as horrible as he's been this season.
And trading away Leonard Williams for a third and a fifth?
Oh, exactly. Making horrible GM moves. Sam Darnold being as bad as he is, beating Dak Prescott's Cowboys, he can't be in the MVP running. So, he's out.
Dalvin
Cook, I don't think he should be in.
He's having a very good year.
He's having a great year.
But to other people, you can't...
I don't know. I feel like the reason that he's not in is because you can't really have multiple running backs in the MVP race, in my opinion. Because it's like... You can't carry a team if you're a running back. You have to have a good O-line.
Barry Sanders is a prime example.
If he had a good O-line, he wins MVP like twice. If he has the Patriots' current O-line or the Cowboys' current O-line or something like that, MVP 2 years in a row or something. But
2,000 yards rushing.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. He had 2,000 yards rushing on like a 1-in-13 team or something. So it's impossible to be like, oh, Dalvin Cook deserves it because he's doing so well. Because his O-line is helping a lot. Christian McCaffrey has been doing...
He's having running, but it's not the running. It's not the running we're electrified about.
It's
the receiving
everything
yards.
else. Yeah. He was the leading receiver for fantasy this week. Or like number 2 or something.
Exactly.
And he's a running back. And not only that, the receiving yards that he's having are like after the catch. He's like catching it in the backfield and making like 12 yards out of it. He turned Kyle Allen into some random white dude from wherever the fuck he's from.
But then Kyle Allen threw 4 interceptions.
Yeah, and Kyle Allen threw 4 interceptions, but he still had like 300 yards passing entirely because Christian McCaffrey went off so hard. And that's why I think Christian McCaffrey is over Dalvin Cook. Even though I think Dalvin Cook is the better back, I think Christian McCaffrey's having a more MVP season because he's a better receiver and he's better at creating something out of nothing. I'd say that the Panthers' O-line is subpar.
I wouldn't say Dalvin Cook is the better back. He's a better running back.
He's the better running back, but he's not the better all-around back. Yeah, that's accurate.
And it's not like he just runs open field. It's yards after contact.
Yeah.
He's getting hit, then running.
Christian McCaffrey's fighting for yards a lot, which is something that you like to see out of a speedster like McCaffrey because he's not really a truck guy. He's pretty small. He put on a lot of weight this offseason, though. He hit the weights hard. So, I think that that's part of the reason why he's such a good receiver this year is because he can take the hits.
Yeah.
It's not just... most receiving backs, it's like they'll catch it, but they'll probably get destroyed. McCaffrey makes yards work even if he gets slammed by safety. Lamar Jackson and Russell Wilson. And I think that these are the two front runners. I think that that's not really a debate, that those are the two that are in the highest contention for the award. Because they... Not only are they quarterbacks for this MVP award that is almost always won by quarterbacks, but...
And also, they were very unexpected.
Mm-hmm.
Very unexpected.
But they're also interesting to watch. The thing about Brady and his 2 MVPs, wasn't that cool to watch him win MVP every year?
Because he's a pocket passer.
He's just a pocket passer. Lamar Jackson is 4th in rushing or something. You're the stats puller-upper guy.
So, right?
I think he has 798 rushing yards, right?
Right now, if we talk about Lamar Jackson for passing, 2,258 passing
Pretty
yards,
solid.
19 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Mm-hmm. Rushing, 115 attempts, 788 yards, 6 touchdowns. In 2018, he rushed for 147 attempts, 695 yards. On less attempts, he has more yards. And not only he played against the Patriots defense, which statistically could be one of the best defenses of all time. And not only did he play them, he mollywhopped the Patriots, 37-20. The first team to go over 15 points against them.
First team to go over 15 points and almost put up 40. And they put in their backup quarterback. They could have easily put up another touchdown or 2. They put in RG3, who immediately threw an interception, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, so...
But the thing is, I feel like a lot of this is helping from Mark Ingram. Their pickup.
Wow. That was... That pickup in the offseason, I was so scared. I was like, they already have, subpar running backs, and they already have the best fucking running scheme in the league.
Yeah.
them having Mark Ingram is stupid.
He is popping off.
I mean, that Heisman backfield is definitely a novelty, but you got to respect it. I mean, you got RG3, who was one of the best running quarterbacks in college.
You look at his Baylor.
His Baylor highlights are fucking stupid. So you've got him, and then you've got Lamar Jackson, who's like we're talking about now. He's an MVP. And then you've got Mark Ingram, who was good for the Saints for a couple of years.
And
he was only really a backup behind whoever was there. Kamara and the other guy that they had for a while. I don't really remember. He wasn't really a backup, but he was definitely sharing the backfield. And now he's in Baltimore with Lamar Jackson, and he's creating so much room for Lamar to do Lamar things that people kind of overlook Mark Ingram doing Mark Ingram things.
Yeah.
And their O-line has been playing really well. It's just, I think Lamar Jackson makes that team so much better than Joe Flacco did. I mean, as soon as you put in Lamar Jackson last year,
winning record,
yeah. The
AFC North title, the playoffs.
The Ravens went from pretty bad but not horrible to pretty good but not great with literally nothing but putting in Lamar Jackson. So the fact that he's been doing MVP things this year after having no experience really except for half a season and being a completely revolutionary player, the only likes of which we've seen is Michael Vick maybe, but even then he was mostly a passer with really good run ability, whereas Lamar Jackson 115 rushing attempts for a quarterback. 115 rushing attempts is low running back numbers.
Yeah.
That's
running back 2 numbers.
That's running back 2 numbers. Yeah, that's crazy. And 788 yards is running back 1 numbers. So the fact that he's been doing so good running the ball, he stayed healthy, hasn't missed a single game this year.
Hasn't been hit a lot.
Hasn't been hit much.
Barely fumbles.
And when he does get hit, he delivers the hit. I don't know if you saw on that Bengals run that was so good. He trucked the kid.
Yeah.
He also trucked somebody else in another game cleanly and safeties.
He stiff-armed TJ Watt.
Yeah. He knows that just because he's a quarterback doesn't mean that he has to be passive, which is why I think he's avoided injury so well so far, is because he's not oh, well, I either have to slide or get out of bounds. He's not focused on that. He's I'm just not going to fumble and I'm going to run the ball the way I need to run it.
It's what Cam Newton should have done. He has all these injuries because he took those hits.
Because he took those hits because he was oh, I just need to brace for impact instead of lowering the shoulder. Now, Russell Wilson, I think is even more interesting than Lamar Jackson.
I think the biggest thing is Tyler Lockett has become one of the top receivers in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
He has shocked everyone in Doug Baldwin's absence.
For real. He's really stepped it up this year. I mean, Doug Baldwin was an amazing receiver. He was a great talent. I mean, that one catch that he had in the playoff game against Minnesota, where he was laid out for it and caught it just
And his route running, one of the best.
And his route running, disgusting. He was always electrifying to watch, and I always loved him. But I always thought Lockett didn't really get enough play. He was a really fast, really good slot receiver for a long time, and I was always kind of he should probably get the wide receiver 2 nod, because Baldwin's playing great, but we don't really have another second option after Curse left. We didn't really have anybody else, and I was why isn't Lockett getting more reps? And I think it was just because he was on the field, but why would you throw to anyone other than Doug Baldwin?
And if you look at him, he doesn't have the DK Metcalf build.
He's not a 6'3", 240-pound wide receiver.
2% body fat.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a skinny boy.
Yeah, he's a skinny boy, but he's still making those catches. That's the thing, is you see him making big body receiver catches. I wouldn't say Calvin level catches or anything, but definitely big body catches, and playing possession receiver well. Everyone knows that he's a speedster. We're all aware. Tyler Lockett's one of the best return men in the league right now, I'd say.
Yeah, that's amazing.
He's really good. But now that he's stepped it up as an actual receiver, I'd say that he's a better all-around player, and I think
gaining respect.
That he's gaining respect from corners, which is making him even better. The fact that Tyler Lockett is stepping up his game is part of why I think Russell Wilson is such an interesting MVP candidate this year. First of all, there's a couple seasons where I think Russell Wilson could have won MVP if the Seahawks didn't fucking destroy any chance of that. Second of all, I think that this year, more than ever, he deserves it, because the Seahawks O-line is bad.
Horrendous.
They're real bad.
But if we talk about Mark Ingram for the Ravens, we have to talk about Chris Carson.
Chris Carson for the oh my God. If you talk about a workhorse back, that guy can I think Chris Carson could handle 50 carries. I think he's the only running back in the game in the league right now who can handle a 50 carry game
I say
and
Saquon
not
can
just
do.
die.
I can say Saquon.
Maybe Saquon, but he's got the lingering ankle thing that's kind of been messing
But
with him.
he can still make those jump cuts.
He can still do the things that are necessary to get to the 50 carry mark, but I don't know. I'd say Chris Carson is the one that it would require the least conditions for him to hit 50 carries and for it to still be like a good game, right?
Yeah, so if we talk about Russell Wilson's stats, he has 2,737 yards,
Very good passing stats.
23 touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
2 interceptions.
With the highest QBR in NFL, 78. But also, running yards, 256
Not bad.
for 3 touchdowns. That's only on 50 carries. That's 5 yards per carry.
That's pretty good rush. He's evolved into a smarter rusher. You know,
In his older days, he used to run a lot.
he used to run a lot, and he took a lot of hits because of it. And I don't think he ever got injured, but I definitely think he got hurt. And I think that it played into his ability to make accurate decisions, make accurate reads, make accurate throws. So I think that now that he's kind of slowing down on the whole running thing and being more effective as a runner, because all of the runs that he does have are necessary. You know, every single one is like, oh, thank God he made that play. Instead of, okay, Wilson, let's calm it down, buddy, you know? So the fact that he's being so smart with using his, like, incredible rushing ability kind of, like, edges him up quarterback-wise over Lamar Jackson to me. Because Lamar Jackson is a freak athlete, and I think he is one of the best pure football players in the NFL.
Wilson is the better quarterback.
As a quarterback, Wilson does things that I couldn't even imagine doing. Like,
he goes through his reads so quick and makes decisions so accurately.
he makes decisions so accurate. That throw to Tyler Lockett that like
In the end zone?
showed like where he toe tapped and like stood out of the end zone.
That
Throw was perfect. There wasn't a centimeter of room that he could have had that
where
throw.
it had a 0.01% chance of working, and it happened.
And it happened. He makes plays that no one else can make. Even Lamar Jackson can't make some of the plays that Russell Wilson makes. And, you know, Lamar Jackson makes plays that Russell Wilson can't make, but I feel like if they were like, okay, playoff game, you're against a tough defense, you're going to start a quarterback. Which quarterback are you taking? I'm taking Wilson every time.
And he has his veteran experience.
He has veteran experience. I think that Lamar Jackson will continue to get better. So I think if we give him an MVP award this year, more sports politics than anything else, it'll just drive up what's needed to win the award than anything else, because he's going to keep getting better, and I think he'll have a better season and a better shot at winning the award. But I think that this is Wilson's year this year. I think that this is the year that Wilson deserves it the most out of anybody else in the league. I think it's him.